Welcome back once again to another tutorial. There is something I want to share with you, and I will be very grateful and glad if you also share it with your friends. I know there is somebody that really don't know how to go about this, and I want to show you guys on how to go about this in case you don't know. So what I want to do now is a yoke sewn together. I want to create a yoke sewn together with your lace fabric, because there are some style which the yoke is not being attached to the fabric. It's not being attached to the body at the upper part to create a yoke. So that is what I want to show you guys now on how to go about that. So I have my princess dots or my satin being cut and padded all together, both my lining. I have everything done about the cutting and padding, and I have a video on how to cut in case you don't know on how to cut your princess dots. I have a video on how you can be able to achieve this and how you can be able to pad it as well. So that aside, let's go straight to the sewing proper. So what I want to show you guys now, let me get my shoulder to bust measurement. My shoulder to bust measurement is 11.5. So this is my 11.5 which I have here. I don't know if you can see my, so this is my nipple point here. So I want to get the depth of my neck. You need to take measurement for that as well. But in case you don't know how to get the depth of your neck, you need to use your from your client, from the shoulder, from your upper shoulder, which is this part here now, from your upper shoulder. You need to take it down to the length of your neck, of the depth of your neck, where you want it to stop. So what I want to do now, from here, what do I have from my bust to my under bust? I have 4 inches. So I'll go up by 4 inches to get my neck depth. And this neck depth comes up higher. But if you take your measurement from your client, if you want it lower than this, it all depends. That's why I say it is very good if you take the measurement from your client direct. So what I want to do now, I want to, from my shoulder here, I want to make the depth of this my client to be 8. So I want to make it 8. So if I have done, go ahead to take it the way I took this measurement here to get this one. What I have here is 7.5, but mine here, I want to make it 8. So since the depth of this neck here now is 8, I'm going to cross check what do I have here. So the distance between my waistline to this my 8 inches is 10. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take from here, look at what I'm doing now. So from this part, I'm going to make sure I get 10 here. So you can see what I'm doing. So this is 10. This is 10 inches, which I have there. And this is 10 inches as well that I have here. This is my 10 inches that I have here. So I'll go over to this other part. This is my side. This is my center front, and this is my side front. So I'm also going to locate 10 from this angle as well. So you're going to place your tape like this to get your 10. So I have my 10 here, and from here like this, I have my 10. From here like this, I have my 10. So you can see what I have here. So what I did for the same way I did for this other side, that's the same thing I'm going to do to this other one, this other side. I'm going to do the same thing as well. So for my back, in case you want your back to be full without a yoke form of it, you can as well go ahead to make it full. But if in case you want to make it to look the same yoke as the front, which I just did, what you are still going to do here is you're still going to mark out your 10 inches. This is your dart space. And for your back as well, because I'm still going to slit this in 2, because this is my zipper space which I have here. So mark your 10 as well, just like this. If it is still So let me go ahead to slit it. So after getting your mark like that, if it is possible, you can go ahead to give it a notch so you don't miss what you are doing. Go ahead to give it a notch. So go ahead to give it a notch just like this, a little notch, so you can be able to know that this is where your 10 inches stopped after coming from the down. So what you are still going to do the same thing from this side. Take your measurement from the down part, just the way I was able to get my 10 using this calculation. So use your 10 like that. It depends on the result that comes out in what you are making. So after that, what I'm going to do now, we go ahead now to cut out my lace, using my fabric to cut out my lace after getting all my marks together. So let me go ahead to do that and come back to you. Okay, so I have gone ahead to cut all my lace according to the bodies of my satin. So I went on to cut. This is the center front that I want to use to illustrate to you on how you can go ahead to do the rest the same way. So what I'm going to do now is to make sure you pin down your lace to your satin fabric. And in case you don't know how to sew your satin fabric and your lace without it giving you issues like pleating around, I have a video on how you can sew it perfectly correct. So what I'm going to do now is to pin down my satin and my lace together. So let me just go ahead to pin this to the end and come to illustrate to you on how to go about this after that. Okay, so I have gone ahead to pin it on the satin fabric. So what I'm going to do now is to locate where you can see where I put my notch. So this is my notch. So on that video I showed you on how to sew, so I don't want to go further on showing you on how to do that. So what you are going to do, you are going to sew and stop it at this point here. We're also going to sew from the down and stop it at this point here. That is the same thing you are going to do for all the rest, which I put my notch. Or if you don't want notch, you can use your chalk to put a mark there. But when notching, please don't notch more than 0.3, so you don't exceed your 0.5 which you are supposed to sew through. So after putting my notches there, I'm going to do the same thing for the rest. Then I'm going to sew. After putting your pins to tack it down so it stays firm when sewing. So I'll go ahead to pin the rest and go ahead to sew it, then come back to show you the result after doing that. So I will be using the front for the illustration. So I have gone ahead to sew it as I told you on how to sew. I've gone ahead to sew it. In case while sewing this you have difficulty in sewing it for it to be neat like this, go ahead to watch that video. That will help you a lot for you to be able to sew it with ease. So what you are going to do, you can go ahead to sew your lining all together, go ahead to sew that. So what you are going to do now, you can see how it looks after sewing and stop here. You can see what I have here. So what you are going to do now is to place your side together and sew 0.5 inch and end it at this point where your thread stops. You are going to sew and stop at this point where your thread is. That is the same thing you are going to do for all of it. So let me go ahead to sew it and end there and come back to show you on what to do next. Okay, so I have gone ahead to sew it and I stopped here. So once you got to this point, what you are going to do now, you will see something like this. Because you stopped there, you will see something like this. What you are going to do is to first of all sew on your lace fabric. What you are going to do, you are going to fold it like this. And so the same 0.5 inch which you took to this extent, you are going to continue your sewing from your lace fabric. Make sure you are sewing very close as you can. Make sure you sew very close as you can sew. Start from there and sew till the end. You can see this other part. I went on to do it at this other part to show you. So I went on to sew as close as I can from where this other part stitch stopped. That is where I was able to sew from. Hope you can see what I'm doing. That is where I was able to sew from. So after sewing this, what you're going to do, you can either notch, but if you are, please, when doing this, you should be extremely careful. Notch it, though. Please don't cut your thread, your seam stitch. Don't cut it, please. So what you are going to do after, if you don't even notch, safe for you to be safe, don't notch. But if you want to, please don't cut your stitch. That's what I just did. It is not close to my stitch even, so this will be able to allow you to free this when you put it inside. So you can see what I have there. So when you put it inward, you can be able to free. You don't cut, please. You can see after sewing, you can see how close it looks. It went very close to the point which I stopped there. That was how I was able to start the stitch from there. So that notch now will enable you to be able to pull this in and bring this like this. Then you continue your sewing from this stitch here, or very close as possible. Continue your stitch from there and sew till the end. So let me go ahead to do it and come back to show you the result of this. So I have gone ahead to sew it, so you can see my sewing. It went very close. Let me bring it close to the camera for you to see. Very close. Look at where this other one started from. Very close. Look at this other part as well. So it went very close. So just go ahead to do it like that, and you can see how this other side looks like. So what you are going to do next is to press it with iron. So I'm going ahead to notch everywhere. You know, both your back and front. Go ahead to do it the same way and notch. So what I'm going to do next is to iron it. I'm also going to iron this open. We're also going to iron this open. So let me go ahead to iron it and come back to you. Okay, so I have gone ahead to iron it. So in case you have not subscribed or to this length, you should consider subscribing, because I have a lot of tutorial coming, a lot of good tutorial that will benefit all of us, because I'm also benefiting from this by learning also. So just go ahead to subscribe and give this video a like if you find this interesting. So you can see what I'm doing now, taking this in. Make sure at this part, when you want to do this, make sure this other side is also laying flat. Make sure there's nothing coming outward, because I want to cut now. So make sure you do this with care, extremely careful when doing this, so you don't go ahead to cut your lace fabric. Please, when doing this, you must be careful, please. So what I'm going to do now is to take the depth of my neck. So I'm going to make use of 8.5. So I want to bring it down to 8.5 for the depth. Let me just make it 8.2. 8.2. I want it to, because it has, let me look for a better shot. Okay, so this is my 8.2 then. You can decide to give your shape just like this. If you want it to be sweetheart, you can also do that as well. You can either come down or you go up to bring your sweetheart neckline. So mine, I want it to, you can see where my notch is at this other part. That is where I want to stop my cutting. That is where I want my cutting to end. So it is going to be like this. So please make sure you always look. If there is anything under there, make sure you always look. Please make sure you always look when doing this. So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead to cut this out. Go ahead to cut it out like this. To be safe, make sure you always do what you are doing to be safe. So you can see my front. So you can see how the front looks like. So I will go ahead now to cut my back. Go ahead now to cut my back. So what I'm going to do now is to place, like I normally do, go ahead now to place my front on my back to cut out. But before I do so, let me go ahead to get my calculations set and ready. So go ahead to get my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 15. So this is my 15 here, 7.5, 15. So my armhole, taking it to be 9. Yeah, I'm still going to trim after everything, but just getting my calculation ready. So my armhole, my neck width will be 3.5. This is in V-neck. I want it. My client wants V-neck, not I myself. She said I should make it a V-neck line. So it is going to stop at this 6. So this is the neck line which she requested for. So to get a V-neck line, just getting, it all depends on your neck shape which you want. So this is what I want to make use of. So my bust, taking my bust measurement, 41 divided by 2 give me 10.25. Just make it 10.5 plus 2 inches for seam allowance. 2 inches for seam allowance. My waist is 33. 33 divided by 2 divided by 4 will give me 8.5. 8.25, but I'm going to make it 8.5. 8.25, I'm going to make it 8.5. So here I have 2 inches for seam allowance. Connect it like this. Then on my armhole, connect my armhole up like this. Okay, the shock is faint. I don't think you can see this properly, but I have videos on how to do this, and you can also still learn. So I come down to my shoulder slope. I come down by 1 inch from my shoulder slope, connect it down to my neckline there. So I'm going ahead to follow my mark which I have in place already. Just like this. I'm still going to shaping it. So I'll use bias for this. I'm going to use bias for it. But before that, let me go ahead and cut out the back. So this is my back. You can see. This is the back which I have there. I'm going to place like this because I want to cut out the lining, the satin from my back. So this all depends if you want it high or low. Should I make it high or should I make it low? It should come up a bit. It should come up a bit than the front. I want to make it up a bit than the front. So this just depends on how you want yours to be. You can see me cross checking if it is going to affect the one under it. Make sure it does not affect the one you are working with under. You must be very careful when doing this. Very, very careful. so you don't make any silly mistake. You must be very, very careful when doing this. Don't go ahead to ruin your fabric. So it costs you a lot if you don't have much fabric. You might not see this same fabric in the market. That little mistake might cost you much. So please, it is very important you take your time when doing it so you don't make mistake that you later regret. So it is very, 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 very important you watch carefully when doing this. So for my back neck, I don't want fee. I don't want fee. I don't want fee. So my back neck, I'm not going to make it. I'm just going to make it shape. My shop is not helping matters at all. Maybe the fabric, maybe the lace fabric is making the shop to faint. So this is my neckline for the bag. So go ahead to bring my shoulder exactly the way I have for the other part. So you can see my zip allowance which I have here. The space for my zip allowance, my zipper allowance. So what I'm going to do next now is to cut out my lining. Since I have cut out my main fabric, so I'm going to use it to cut out my lining. So just go ahead to place it. Just go ahead to place my main fabric on my lining just like this to cut it out. Make sure it is sitting equally from starting from the down part. Make sure it is sitting equally, and as you know how I normally do it, feeling it, trying to feel it because it's sitting at the right position. So I use my hand to shape this, put it inside, and feel if it is touching the right position. So what I'm going to do is just to cut out carefully when doing this. You must be careful because you want to cut like this, your lace should not come out. So you can see what I just did here. So let me proceed by cutting the back. Let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so I have gone ahead to cut out my lining. So what I'm going to do now is to sew together. So I'll go ahead to shift this just like this and trim out my pad, a little bit of my pad, trim it out because I want my stitch to run through direct on the satin fabric, not on the pad which I used to pad it. So just like this, then I'm going to place my satin on my main fabric, right side facing right side. So you can see what I have, the right side facing right side, and I'm going to sew my neckline, then top stitch it, and go ahead to sew my side clothes. So I'm going to do the same thing for my back, sew my neckline close, top stitch it, and sew my side clothes. Come back to show you what it looks like. Okay, so I have gone ahead to put my bias on the neck. Gone ahead to fix it so you can see how it looks. So I'm going to take a picture of this when I'm done on the mannequin. So I hope you can carry on from here because this way I want to come to close for this tutorial. So just go ahead to place it like this. If you have been following me, I have several videos on how to go about this. So if you want to continue, you can go ahead to watch those videos, then continue from here. All I do is to draw a straight line and sew it close, and before continuing to sew my together. So I don't want to waste much of your time. I just want to show you on how you can be able to get this, so you can see how it looks. You can see how it looks very nice. So I really appreciate you for always tuning. I know there are some of my subscribers that are always waiting for me to upload videos. most of you want me to be doing that every day. I really appreciate you for your belief that at least I have something to show in a little way, even if it is not much, in a little way to show that okay, you guys should also learn at least from what I also know how to do, so that you can be even better than me. I really appreciate you for that. So just go ahead, in case you have not subscribed, you need to join the family. You need to join the family because all my subscribers have been awesome. I really appreciate you guys. I want to say thank you for your love. Thank you for everything. Thank you for keep inspiring me. Thank you because why I'm doing this, because I live every day as if it is my last day. So I want to give you everything. I don't have anything to hide. I don't have anything to hide. So thank you once again. I really appreciate you guys. Stay safe and remain blessed as always.